Well, great is the Lord, and greatly he is to be praised. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that's within me. Bless God's holy and wonderful name. What are we going to talk about tonight? Tonight on the broadcast, I'm talking about creating a positive work culture. Creating a positive work culture. Or you can say creating a positive group culture, creating a positive office culture, creating a positive church culture. You want to stick with me and hear from me tonight. I've really got something great in my spirit that I want to release into your lives. And so I want you to hang with me for the next 20, 30 minutes as we go to Phenomenal Leadership. This is Tuesday. Welcome to Phenomenal Leadership with your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott. Really excited about the opportunity to share. We're seeing twice a week, Tuesdays at 9, and then of course on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Is there a word from the Lord? Yes, there is a word from the Lord. And God is allowing us to use this platform to help you. John Maxwell says, everything rises and falls on leadership. And so I believe that it is my assignment, it is my destiny, it is my purpose, it is my passion to empower leaders to be able to meet the demand that is upon leadership right now. There is a demand. There is a struggle for people to get out of where they are. There is a struggle for them to identify their purpose. There's a struggle for them to attain the things that I believe ultimately God has placed us on this earth to do. We're not here to make up the number. We're not here to make up the billions that are here. We are here with a perfect and an assignment that God didn't give it to us because we couldn't accomplish it. He gave it to us because the ability is there to accomplish it. None of us was born to lead, but all of us can learn how to lead. Hang with me. This is Phenomenal Leadership. So welcome to everyone that is joining us. Good to have you being a part of the broadcast this evening. This is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. Is there a word from the Lord? Yes, there is one from the Lord for you today. So I want you to reach out to your friends. Let them know that Bishop-elect Scott is live with his Phenomenal Leadership teaching. And he's talking about creating a positive work culture. Creating a positive work culture. All right. What is culture? What is culture? Now, the dictionary defines culture as the idea, customs, and social behavior of particular people or society. What kind of behavior are you creating in your workspace? What kind of culture are you creating in your church? What kind of culture are you creating among your group? What kind of culture are you creating among your friends? Very, very important. The positive culture is what I believe that you have been designed to create. You've been placed in that person's life to create a positive culture. The environment that you are responsible of fostering is an environment that will cause them to grow, that will cause them to become better people or a better person, a more positive person to the environment. You see, I was thinking about it today, and as I'm writing a book. I'm currently engaged in writing a book right now. And as I was writing, I thought about the fact that a lot of us, in fact, 90% of you watching me tonight, you've not had an easy way. There was not a positive culture created for you, a positive environment that fosters your growth. Some of us, some people had the silver spoon in their mouth where everything was laid out for them. Everything was just laid out in place. Then others of us, they knew that our parents or our friends or whoever was looking out for us knew that we were going to be all right. But there was nothing placed out there to help us to really get to that success compared with the other person. So, sometimes your parents say to you, go to school and learn and be good and come home and bring mommy the A's. But when you compare what the next child has, and their parents say the same thing, behave yourself, go to school, and bring mommy home the A's. They had all of the necessities, all of the things that was necessary for school. They had school bag, they had lunch, they had every single thing, new tennis, new shoes, everything. And their parents say to them the same thing your parents say to you, come home and bring mommy the A's. And it looked like it ain't fair. They got everything to work with, but I ain't got nothing to work with. But I'm still expected to bring home the same thing. And so my point is that we made it with very little help. The environment created for us was not positive. Some of us used to get beaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I will not be the first to admit this, but sometimes we got beaten when we really didn't need to get beaten. A lot of times we got spanked and we didn't do it. It wasn't us. But it happened. It happened and ain't nothing you can do about it. But tonight I'm talking about on the broadcast, creating. You want to see your church grow. You want to see your church grow. But is the culture around your church conducive for growth? Is the culture, do you create that environment for growth? You get what you put in. If you have not created that environment for growth, then growth is not going to happen. Because, believe it or not, even the Bible supports this, that growth cannot happen everywhere. Remember the story about the sower that went out to sow? Every seed that was in the hand of the sower had the potential of growth. There was nothing wrong with the seed. The problem, my friends, was where they went. Where they went determined their lifespan, determined whether they was coming out to anything. So, what kind of environment are you creating at your church? What kind of environment are you creating at your workplace? What kind of environment are you creating in your cell groups, at the office? What kind of environment are you creating at your house? What you put into your house is what's going to come out of the people in your house. One of the things I've always wanted a prayer room in my house. God bless me with that. Then I always wanted, as you enter my door, I wanted a table there with a Bible on it. Well, I got my Bible, I ain't get my table yet, but I want my entrance to be, I want when you enter my home, my entrance to have an open Bible there. And daily I'll switch between the scripture, but I wanted a Bible to my front door. I want a Bible to my front door. What you allow in your house is what you allow in your life. Because if you allow it in your house, then you allow it in your space. So, we're talking about creating a positive work culture, or a positive work culture, a positive office culture, a positive church culture. An environment that is conducive for growth. Now, the other night or the other day, I was listening to Dr. Angel Kreitz on Wisdom Talk. And then she began to talk about the Fred factor. And she didn't say much about it, but for some reason or another, it caught on to that. And so by the time her broadcast was over, I began searching up this Fred factor to find out what is this all about. And yes, I found it. I found it, the Fred Factor book, and I began to read it. And what a blessing, what a blessing. And so as I was reading the Fred Factor, here's what it says. Here's what it says. And this really was mind-blowing for me. And you may be trying to figure out, who is a Fred? Who is a Fred? So, the Fred Factor says, a Fred is somebody who believes that excellence and quality should be the goal of every person in any business or any profession. Are you a Fred? Do you believe that excellence and quality is a goal of every person that you come in contact with? The Fred Factor says anybody can do it. Your goal should be that, number one, everybody in the office, everybody in the church, everybody in the group, move in a spirit of excellence and offer quality to the group, the church, the business, the profession, whichever one. So, a Fred is that person that believes in everybody. Now, you got to be a Fred. Now, you got to be a Fred because you don't help people that you don't believe in. So, a Fred is somebody that believes in everybody. So, a Fred believes that excellence and quality is the goal of everybody. Everybody should strive for that goal. Excellence and quality. All right? Now, the thing about when you become a Fred, where you believe that everybody, I don't care where they are, I don't care what they do, I don't care what their role is in the church, whatever their role is in the business, whatever their role is in the office, everybody can contribute to excellence and good quality. Now, the thing about that is, not only does excellence in everybody translate to a better business, but it also translates to better people. You become a better person when you have developed people around you. I was sharing with a friend of mine, and I was telling them how it is easy to spot when someone is doing something wrong. Very easy. It is easy to uncover somebody when they're doing wrong. It is easy to judge somebody when they're doing wrong. But is that what you are called to do? Are you called to spot the wrong? Are you called to judge the people? Or are you called to tell them that, hey, you've been identified for excellence and quality. You've been identified for excellence and quality. Jesus looks at the crowd and says, ye are the salt of the earth. Ye are the salt of the earth. Everybody on this earth is depending on you. So, if somebody in that crowd felt like they were better than the next one, Jesus silenced that thought by saying, all of you are the salt of the earth. So, your assignment as the salt of the earth is to identify everybody that you can every day and let them know you are excellent and you have great quality. And everyone must carry that burden to say, look, my excellence and my quality is going to translate in where I be, where I live, and what I do. So, it results excellence when you believe that excellence is the quality and a goal that every person should have, then guess what happens? The result will not only cause an extraordinary effect and success at work, but you will also find yourself living at an extraordinary level. As I began to read that book, and I thought about extraordinary, and so I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you in 2022. All right, we are the 5th month. Let us live extraordinary lives. Let us live extraordinary lives. How do we live extraordinary lives? When we encourage everybody to do extraordinary things. Then we begin living extraordinary lives. You're not going to live an extraordinary life when you're only concerned about yourself. When you are concerned about, are we concerned about saving others? Are we concerned about saving others? Yes, we can identify when they're doing wrong, but are we concerned about saving them? Are we concerned about making them better people or better Christians? Are we concerned about making them contributors? Okay. The Fred factor has something called, or let's go ahead. What is a Fred? Or what are Fred principles? You that believe that everybody needs to move at a level of excellence and quality. We need to offer that. The Fred factor teaches that this, all right? Only the employee. The Fred factor teaches that only the employee can choose to do his or her job in an extraordinary way. I don't care how you breathe down somebody's neck. They're not going to perform at an extraordinary level. I don't care how you frighten them. They're not going to perform at an extraordinary level. They've got to want to do this themselves. And the only way that they will want to do this themselves, if you show them that you and everybody in the room can make a difference. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. I don't care where you work. I don't care where you go to church. You can make a difference. Everybody can make a difference. You want to see how awkward life will be? Let me lose one of my fingers. And you could choose the one you want to lose. But then life will get a little awkward. I really never thought that your toes were that significant. They aren't really that long. I mean, I can understand the hand holding things, but I didn't really see the significance of all the toes. But if you start losing your toes, you start losing your balance. Toes, not the foot, the toes. Lose one of the toes, you start losing a little balance. You walk a little funny. So, only that individual can determine whether they want to do their job an extraordinary way. Watch this now. We have to encourage people, or we have to create an environment where people are encouraged to the point, people are inspired to the point where that no matter what the circumstances are, that they want to do their jobs at an extraordinary, in an extraordinary way, or at an extraordinary level. It is within everyone to perform at an extraordinary level. But it's not going to come about because you row them well, you fuss them good, you breathe over their necks, you watch them. It's not going to happen. It happens when they want to do it. Remember, people follow leadership because either they have to or they want to. When people follow leadership because they want to, you'll get 100% from them every time. But when people follow leadership because they have to, they're just looking for a way out. They're just looking for a way out. And so we have to create an environment that people want to be in. People can only benefit from the environment when they want to be in it. So you have to create that positive culture, that behavior, that people want to be in it. Okay? So, everyone can make a difference. Nobody can prevent you from choosing to be exceptional. Nobody, no, I don't care, nobody can hinder you from choosing to be exceptional. I made up in my mind a long time ago. There are things that I will never do, I won't do. It's not going to happen in my life. And I made up in my mind a long time ago, those were the things that I was never going to do. I made up in my mind that I was going to get out of the hood. Now, I came from a single parent home. My mom paid for me to sit my certificates, right? But she couldn't afford to pay for my graduation pictures. But I prefer the certificates over the graduation pictures. Even though she could not have afforded to, me put on the robe and all that kind of stuff. Nevertheless, she offered me what she could have offered me. And so I made up in my mind to maximize whatever it was Mommy was offering, but I wanted to make myself better. There are things that I didn't want for myself, and I ensured that it didn't happen. Now, I didn't pursue my bachelor's degree until I was almost 50, right? Well, I think I was 50. I didn't pursue it till I was 50. But I always knew that that was something I could have done. But I didn't have the capacity, and then I didn't have the drive. Because later on in life, I had the capacity, I just didn't have the drive. But somebody, friend of mine, got behind me, and they heard me saying it, and they found out everything I needed to find out, and walked me right through the whole program. So, number one, everyone can make a difference. Everyone can make a difference in creating this work culture, this positive work culture, where everybody can shine, everybody can grow, everybody can become. So, create the culture where they want to choose to be extraordinary. Because you're not going to make them extraordinary by fussing them or telling them they got to do this. They got to want to do it. Right? Nobody can prevent them from choosing to be exceptional. Here's my wrapping up point. I've got a lot more to talk about, but here's my wrapping up point. I don't want to be before you long. Here's my wrapping up point. Right? There's no insignificant or ordinary jobs. There is no insignificant or ordinary jobs. Everybody in the room, job is important. There's none of the jobs that is insignificant or not important. There's not one person in your church that is insignificant or not important. There's not one person that comes to your church. There's not one person that's a part of your team that is insignificant or not important. There's not one that you could just do without. Everybody's important. Whenever we adopt that as leaders, that everybody is important, the culture in our room changes. Because a leader must walk in the room saying, I got to save everybody in the room. Don't walk in the room doing triage and trying to figure out, no. Walk in the room with the culture that everyone can be saved. Why is it that there is no job, right, that is insignificant or ordinary? For the simple fact that there's no ordinary person doing it. That's why. The job is not insignificant and unimportant because if it was, the fact that a significant person is behind it, then it becomes important. I'll tell you this. A couple of weeks ago, the queen, not the queen, the prince and the princess, the duke and the duchess was over here. Cameras was everywhere. No, they went to a Count Salad stand, right? And cameras was everywhere, and that was a big deal at the Count Salad stand. The Duchess was making Count Salad. That was a big deal at the Count Salad stand because, right, the Duchess was cutting up the Count. The Duchess and the Duke was on the sailing boat sailing. Out in the rain sailing. Everybody out there in the rain because the Duke and the Duchess is sailing. When you begin to see people not as ordinary, then you realize that their job is important. And that's what Jesus did. Jesus spoke to the crowd of everybody. The crowd that had every type of person in it. And says, ye are the salt of the earth. Ye are the salt of the earth. If you lose your salt, you are good for nothing. You are the light of the world. So, if you got an important job like that, that makes you important and the job important. There is no insignificant or ordinary job when they are being performed by significant and extraordinary people. Extraordinary people. Pastor Scott, you have on a tie. Pastor Scott, you look excited. Bishop, you just look like something, you're on fire. I'm on fire because I am not talking to an ordinary person. I have the best job on the planet because I have the opportunity to go into the life of the best person in the world. I'm talking to you. I got to clean up myself. I've got to be before the Lord. I got to go over my notes. Because my job is important because of who? When the prodigal son went out to feed the hogs, the swines, and he looked at the food, he began to eat it. He didn't eat the food because he said, that's swine food. So that wasn't important. We are able to create positive work culture when we look at who we're doing it to. Then we know because of who we're doing it to, then the job is very important. The Bible says you are a royal priesthood. You are a holy nation. I'm not talking to regular people. I'm talking to heavy hitters. I'm not talking to ordinary people. I'm talking to extraordinary people. So, there is no insignificant and ordinary job when it's being performed by significant and extraordinary people. Everyone can make a difference. Everyone can make a difference. I want you to follow me on Thursday. What we're going to be talking about on Thursday, we're going to be still dealing with building a positive work culture. But we're going to talk a little bit about success is in building relationship. You want to succeed? Now, you can't build relationships in an environment that is not conducive for growth. So, before you try to build a relationship, you got to build an atmosphere. And then you invite people in. Bishop says this, and it makes a lot of sense. He says, God do not bring people in disorder. The reason why we don't have people in our life, because our life ain't in order. The reason why we don't have people in our church, because our church is not in order. The reason why we are doing people in our business is because it's not in order. And people can very easily spot disorder. People can spot disorder just like that. Now, you may think that people cannot spot that your building, your church, your business, your group is not in order, but they can spot it. They can spot it. They can spot it just like that. Well, I'm done for the evening. This, again, has been Phenomenal Leadership. Tonight, we've been talking about creating a positive work culture. The environment, the discipline, the behavior. The behavior got to be positive in the environment. If you create a hostile environment, all you got is fights and rows and bunch of misunderstandings and backstabbing and all the rest of the stuff going to be going on there. Listen, appreciate you so much joining me tonight. Appreciate you so much for being a part. Shout out to all of you that are watching me from Facebook, that are watching me from my personal page. Hey, thank God for you. Those who are watching me from the Voice of Deliverance organization page, I really appreciate God for you. Those who are watching me from YouTube, Edlin Scott's channel, appreciate God so much for you. Listen, thank you so much. Continue to watch, continue to follow us, continue subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you so much. Love you, love you, love you. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.